Okay guys, so here's another video on the topic of, I guess, space and maybe even astrophysics, I don't know. But yeah, here's my take on what the multiverse looks like. So yeah, obviously we all think that we live in a universe that looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and say that it's not perfectly round, because, at least not in this way, because the Earth itself is not a perfect circle. It's actually kinda flattened a bit like this. Obviously not this much, but you could say that it's a bit, squashed down here and down here. So I'm going to guess this is the basically the shape of the universe, and that's why I guess maybe the Earth is. I'm not sure about the Sun actually. Is it squashed? I guess it could be. I'm not sure. So I should check that out. But anyway, uh, if this is our universe, let's say, well, this is our universe and everything we know, but obviously it's a part of a much larger whole, especially, well, I guess I'll have to draw this again, but um, the point is, do we have how should I say this, do we have baby universes coming from our universe, something like this? For example, when a black hole forms anywhere here, obviously in 3D space I can't do that right now, but does it create baby universes like this? And is there a much bigger universe that precedes our own, and which is a parent universe to us? And is there still energy? This is what actually interests me the most. Is there still energy that comes in from here? If so, that could explain the expansion of our universe, because there's constantly something flowing in, and that's why this is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. But obviously there's another question: is there a universe that's even bigger than the one before, our grandparent universe, right? And is it still pouring energy into this one from basically a black hole from this side and a white hole from this side? So if you've seen my previous video, you'll know that I regard this membrane, let's say, as a placenta. So, and I talked about it in the previous video, and it's an old idea of mine, and it's 10 years old, and yeah, I could connect it with the idea of alien insemination. Do you really need aliens to inseminate a black hole? I guess not. They appear by themselves, but we can and could use them. Check that video out. I'll link it in the end. So yeah, does every black hole produce another universe? Not necessarily, but possibly. What are they like? Is each and every one of them successful? I guess not. Do they have to be? Obviously not. So let's see. Let's do something like this. So what happens? How many of them are there anyway? Actually, how far does this go? What happens when you zoom? I guess it starts to look like a Mandelbrot set, if I'm not mistaken. So in 3D, obviously. So what happens? Where does it end, and where are we? Are we in this one here, or this one here? Are we here? What happens to the failed universes where there's not enough energy, or the gravity and physics are all wrong? Can they be barren? I guess so. Everything's possible. So yeah, I kind of like imagining the multiverse in this fashion, and yeah, let's see how much further this can go. Let's see what happens. And how big does the previous universe have to be? Are they all aligned perfectly like this or not? Do they have to be? And yeah, and there's an interesting question also here. We all know that the atoms will one day evaporate, and even protons and so on. So there is limited life for the particles in our universe. So what happens with the last universe in line, the one that almost disappeared, like basically it's disappearing right now, so it has, let's say, a few more minutes, and the last few atoms will disappear. There's basically nothing left to drain in here. What happens when it disappears? But also, if we are here, for example, or maybe even here and so on, who knows, it could be billions of generations removed from the great 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 grandparent universe. So what happens, how far away is this one in, I guess, in light years, and how big is it? So what's the distance, I guess, between these points? Well, let's say between these points, the separation points, the black holes and the black and white holes, I guess. And what's the radius of our, let's say this is our universe, or maybe this one, but it's way simpler to observe it because it's obviously too small. So is this one, I guess, 100 billion light years or something like that? There's a limit, I kind of forgot it now. But how big is this one? Is there a proportion between these two? Does this one have to be, let's say if this one is that huge, is the next one destined to be this small, and the next one, 100 times smaller, or can the next one be almost the same size? I'm not sure. It would drain too much energy, I guess, and so it's possible that it's basically smaller up to a point. Not unless, but until it grows to be as big as the last one. You could draw a parallel between kids and their parents. So yeah, I guess they grow. Do they outgrow them? It's possible. Nothing is impossible in this case. And what I want to know is the distance between these two. So let's say distance. Sorry for my handwriting, obviously. And what's the time? How far away is this one? Let's say you're in this universe here, and you have some sort of super advanced technology, billions of years from now, and you can actually pass through the placenta, aka white hole, aka black hole, and pop back here into this universe, parent universe, see what's up there, what's going on, and then you decide to go even further and go into this one, and so on. So you're basically traveling back through space. Are you traveling through time? I guess not. But how old would this universe be if ours is, let's say, what is it now? Is it 14? I guess they're kind of moving it around from time to time, but if this one is 14 billion years old, is this one, let's say, 35 to 40, something like that? Let's again draw parallel with parents. Or, is this one 80? And if you scale this down, if this one is actually ours and it's 14 billion years, and this one is 40, and this one is 100, and so on, few hundred, 1,000, and so on. How big is this one? How old is it? Is it 8 quadrillion years old? And how long or large is it? And what's the last chance, last point to get in there? Obviously, what's the last second where you can't really exit you can't really enter the last one before it disappears, but before all the particles dissipate. So yeah, it's a strange question, but this is what interests me, and hopefully someone can make a formula out of this and calculate the distance and the time and the volume and so on. So there's a lot of cool questions here that could be answered, and they would be entertaining. What happens if the last particle disappeared just Now, is it over? Is that the end? You're in your super duper advanced spaceship and you're cruising around here, but you can't really find the exit anymore, so you can't really go back into the parent universe. Maybe you can go into other universes, or like here or there, so you can go all the way around and so on. But is there a limit to this? It's strange to think about it, but I guess there is. So let's see, let's try a new layer. And so yeah, this is the one that I guess disappears soon. Yeah, this is also a cool question. What happens to when this connection disappears? Let's see if I can do this. Kind of put it. Oh no, wait. No, I want to do lasso tool, I guess. So what happens when you remove this one from the equation, this universe, and let's put it here. So yeah, so this one disappears. Obviously these guys are now on their own, I guess. So if we had a situation like this and so on and so on, let's see, it's starting to look like a plant or something with its roots, which is cool, but yeah, this one also had an ancestor, but that ancestor is long gone now, so let's maybe draw it like this. It's over, for that one. So yeah, I guess you can go all the way in all directions. Do they collide between themselves? It's possible, but I don't know what happens then. Imagine this in 3D, obviously. So some of them are, X, Y, Z. Some of them are closer to us than in space on the Z-axis, I guess. So it's, I guess, really crowded, and you could go even further and ask, is there another one here which also has kids? Kid baby universes, do they intertwine? But where did this one come from? From here, from the one that disappeared? Is there the ultimate last one and the only one, or are there billions and trillions of them? Obviously. So where do they come from? So if there are billions of them that have already disappeared, so yeah, then it's kind of, I guess, tough to ask yourself, well, which one is the first one, and so on. So at the moment, maybe it's safer, I guess, to stick with this idea for the beginning, at least. We should try to understand as much as we can about this one. That's the last generation. So let's presume that we are maybe somewhere here, let's say, and we are in our spaceship, and we have found a way to travel back through black holes, aka white holes. So we hop from one to another, maybe we get lost, but then we have to go back and through a maze, basically. Do you go here or here or here? How do you decide? How do you map this out? Where do you end up? So, but let's say we find a way and slowly begin to trace our way back to here. Again, we have a trillion, quadrillion times faster than light speeds here, and we're just zooming through all of this, exploring, seeing what's up, seeing what's going on, who's where, what's happening, and so on. But yeah, let's say we're here and we have a chance to get into this last one before everything disappears, the last few energy particles or whatever. How big is it? How old is it? What can we learn from it? How similar is it to our universe? Obviously it should have some similarities, because if it's a generational thing, I guess we are kind of similar to whatever this was here, but obviously I'm going to guess it's way more primitive. So there's evolution of universes. It's kind of strange to say universal evolution, but there's an evolution of universes. Each one is supposedly better, than the last one. So yeah, they maybe become more efficient and so on. So we'll see. I obviously can't calculate this. If you're by any chance an astrophysicist, please do that calculation, and let us all know what you think of this, and if we are here again, how, and we know how big our universe is and how old it is. How old is this one? And obviously this one that's basically disappearing right now in 3, 2, 1. This one is gone. Oh, okay, obviously, but there's another one here, so it's going to maybe disappear in a few seconds or a few billion years. We don't know that. So what's the proportion, what's the calculation? And yeah, what happens when this guy here dies? Let's see. Is this the no, this is the lasso tool. Is there a shortcut? I'm not sure. So let's hide this also and see what happens. Is the connection lost between all of these baby universes? Presumably it is, which is kind of sad, and it's strange. What happens to them? Do they suddenly tether away and disappear quickly as if they're like released from a slingshot or something like that, or do they just continue swimming, I guess, in some sort of undefined energy or matter or different kind of space? It's not impossible. Let's say they are in a sea of dark energy and dark matter, but can you really exit our universe? Let's say you've come to here and want to exit. Can you get out if there's quote unquote nothing here, or at least there's some different form of space and energy? So let's imagine it's possible and you exit. What would you do? Obviously you could visit these ones, and if you can get out, obviously you can get in. So yeah, maybe you get into this one and see what's up here, but what's stopping you to exit and enter anywhere you want now? You can have basically a bird's eye perspective here and see the whole picture. So what would you see then? Let's see, let's try and imagine that. Let's move it a bit more forward, but not too much, I guess. I don't know. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, this is better. What happens when you can get out of all of this? Let's see. Yeah. And then there's no limit here. Can I really erase this? Good. Well, no. But yeah. What do you see? Something like this, I guess. A bunch of let's call them plants for now, or roots, whatever. Or maybe there's nothing here, we don't know. But what if there is this? So, can you travel here and see what the other universes are doing? Are they connecting here, or are they not? Interesting, I guess. Let's see. Let's push it a bit more forward so it starts to look like this, I guess. Or maybe, let's see. Let's, minimize it even more now. You can't see it now, so yeah, that's not good. Let's minimize it to this extent. And yeah, so what does it look like now? Some sort of plants, I guess. Can you travel between them, and what's outside of this? You can always go with the theory of connecting the loop, I guess. If you're so far out of this, maybe basically these become strings or something like that, so you kind of go ad infinitum, always in a loop. So I don't know, that's taking it too far. Basically, I'll think about it more, but this is what I wanted to know. So yeah, if anyone knows an answer to this question, how big is our last grandparent universe? How big is it? How wide is it? How old is it? And you know, how far away from us is it? Can you make a formula out of it? Something like, you know, whatever. I'm going to just, you know, fool around and write stupid stuff like this. But if you can calculate something like that, that would be great. So anyway, that's it for me for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. It's been obviously a wild journey and a long one, trillions of years in the making. So yeah, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe, and also support the channel on Patreon. And that's it. I'll talk to you guys again soon, hopefully. This idea is obviously 10 years old also, so I hope I won't take such a long time again to make these videos. I'll try to make them as soon as I get the idea of something I want to talk about. So yeah, hopefully this is something I'll get better at. So anyway, thank you, support the channel, and see you soon, guys. Bye.